welcome to another heartfelt episode of the Kahaani series where creativity finds its voice and stories still the soul. I'm your host Shweta, and today we have someone truly special with us, and he's teamed up with the global creativity giants like Fifth Ring, UK, O&M and WT. And for over 16 years, he has been behind the words and strategy that move brand and hearts. So let's welcome Uttaran Choudhuri, a maestro of brand, copy and creativity strategy all the way from England. Uttaran, it has an honor to have you with us.
Oh, thank you so much. Thank you, Shweta.
So first of all, from India, namaste.
Namaste.
And to break now just start with the proper conversation and being a light conversation to break the ice. If your creative career were a song, what it would be called and why?
Okay, if my creative career was a song, I'll call it "I Did It My Way" by Frank Sinatra. Because,
Okay.
Because joining advertising and then moving ahead with my career was kind of a life choice which I made. And it has had its ups and downs, and it had its amazing moments. It had moments of intense despair, but ultimately, it's my life, and I did it my way. So,
Oh, that's great. I just love to hear this song. And now it's being very frequent with I just really be inquisitive about your LinkedIn updates. It been quite when I meet with Megan. Actually, Megan connect me with you, and it's like so pleasant as an author to see your update on LinkedIn, and it will like commendable.
thank you.
Okay, so let's come to your recent post. Beautifully said, a campaign should not close but open a space for echoes. And what do you mean by that? Like, how do you make a brand campaign linger in the audience mind?
Yeah, I always feel that a campaign, if you're reading a print ad or watching a digital campaign right now, our attention span is very short, right? What we do is we go through reels, we go through, very small videos, content which comes and goes really fast. So it's very important to make sure that if you're creating an advertisement or a campaign or a social media ad, it should somehow resonate with your audience. Very simple. So it should stay with your audience after you're done with the reel or you're done with the because you're always consuming new things. And one way of I have a feeling that one way in which you can actually make your ad resonate or you can make your ad stay is show something or create something which raises questions or which breaks clutter. So the moment that happens, you get your consumer thinking that, okay, what has happened and how can I make sense of that? So it is important to create things which are new, which are different, and that way you stay relevant. So that's what matters.
Yeah, that's being great because LinkedIn is such a platform where everyone is not capable of going through that much of attention, because as my personal experience, it being a worth, if you create a audience who is just resonate with your content and with your ideas being creative, and you already did an awesome job on LinkedIn.
Thank you.
So you often speaks about words that move and group. And for our young listeners who dreams of copywriting or branding, what advice would you give to create a content that connects?
Well, firstly, I would advise that know your target group and know whom you're addressing through your copy, through your art. And it's important to have a vision, to have a road ahead, because artists have the liberty of creating whatever they have in their minds and and without owing an explanation to anyone. But for commercial artists, like for people in advertising, people who write before people paint or draw, for them it is important to have a road ahead in mind, like what am I trying to say, whom I'm trying to talk to, and what has everyone else done, how has everyone else spoken about it, and how can I make my content different. So and how can I also make my content true to myself. So if all those questions are addressed, then you definitely have something which is different, which is clutter breaking, which you can use to completely different, create a very different kind of content. So that's my thought.
So by seeing your content, especially on LinkedIn, it give me the vibe of the artist, which is combined with the person who like to share their story through writing a word. As any a point of your life, you are working as an artist.
In fact, I've worked with, I'm a writer, but I've worked in, all my mentors have been art directors. Like, I have been mentored by Uttaran Choudhuri, who's a national award-winning art director. And, I worked with my very good friend Owen Davis, who's fifth ring, who's also a brilliant art director. So these people have influenced me quite a bit. So I've learned to think visually. So that way, these days when I create my LinkedIn content, I try art directing them myself, and I try using what I've learned from the platform.
Oh, that is being great. Like, it is very difficult to create such a nice content, and I just love to see that. And you are a part of One Donate UK, and you have been spoken about purpose in campaigns. So how do you bring storytelling and strategy into cause like donation or spatial impact?
See, well, for my, a friend of mine and I, we both came together, and he thought of this brilliant concept called One Donate, where we have this one digital platform where we have all the charities there. And so because donation is a very big industry in the UK, and there's a culture of donation. So what happens is people usually go to different websites and fill up forms and but with this application, you just have one app with all the charities there. So all you need to do is just log in, download, log in, tap, select the charity, tap and donate. That's it. So it takes out a lot of walls or problems which donors face in the UK. So I felt that and he gave me the duty of branding this initiative. And so I felt that unless you have a story, unless you have, say, content which ends, which starts and ends and goes through a journey, unless there's a journey, I mean, every story has a journey, right? Unless there is this distinctive arc of a journey, it's very difficult to connect with a donor or connect with a consumer, because a consumer, everyone loves stories. So if I tell you a story well, or if I tell a story which makes you feel that, okay, I'd want to learn more, that is when you'd be interested. And that is, I believe, I've worked on many, I've worked a lot on charitable organizations. I worked for UNICEF, I worked for Rotary International, and when I was in agency settings, and I've realized that the only way you can get your consumers to actually do something is move them internally. And that's something that you can do with story.
That is being like, I just want to ask this question personally. Being as a freelancer or being as an author, being included in the career in writing, like how it become so creative in the cultural orientation of UK.
Well, out here people read a lot. Well, that's something that I've seen, that at least I have a feeling that, see, the young generation, or the Generation Z and the Generation Alpha, they're the same across the world. but everyone else, well, the older generation, the millennials here, I mean, there's a culture of reading in the UK. I mean, there's a very strong culture of sending your kids to libraries, reading your books to your children, and to encourage schools, they encourage reading more. And so there's and people, if you travel on public transport, you'll see people reading, and that's something that you don't see every day. And so people read newspapers. There's a lot of, they consume a lot of content, which is where you turn the pages and you smell the book and all that. So
With the questions, at Kahaani series, we believe every creator carries a story and that changes them. So could you share a campaign you work on that left a mark on you, and sometimes that was just be a successful but deeply personal for you?
oh yeah, I can definitely talk about like the campaign I was talking about, the COVID campaign. And I was back then I was in India, and we were having a child back in India, and we were supposed to go back to London, and our flight got cancelled because there was lockdown in India, right? COVID hit us really hard. And it was at that point of time I did not know what to do. The world didn't know what to do, so everything was in 2020, everything literally stopped. And so I decided to create a campaign which would in some way help people and make them smile, because I tried to do something that'll help people psychologically. So I created an initiative, a campaign called Go Viral to Stop the Virus, where the idea was to take the shape of the coronavirus and change it to something which is positive. Like, for example, the earring, or from a top shot of like a round bowl and pigeons drinking from it. So if you look from the top, it looks like the virus. But we're saying like sharing go viral and beauty go viral. So that was a very personal campaign, because I created it out of a personal crisis, and thankfully it did help quite a few people, and it spread across 62 countries across the world. So I connected with musicians, I connected with poets, connected with artists, and lots of people from different agencies came forward. And so all together, and of course musicians. We had musicians like Mohan Singh, who also sang with we had Gaurav Chatterjee, we had musicians from across the world came together and helped us in that campaign. So at the end of the day, I learned that people are inherently positive. People are like sunflowers. If there's sunlight somewhere, they tend to move towards that. So there's inherently positivity in the world. So being positive always helps. So that's what I mean.
So listening to you is being like that you're all life oriented toward the art, toward the music, and toward the people who are just indulged in the creative section of our society. So I just want to ask this personal question, that what you do actually. Are you a full-time writer? Are you a content creator? And are you an author?
Well, I am a full-time advertising person. I am a copywriter, and I began my journey as a copywriter in advertising, and then I moved to, of course, as I became a little more senior, I got into ideation and I was leading teams. And so, I'm a full-time advertising professional. I build brands. I also create content on LinkedIn, and where I talk about advertising using and branding and marketing, and I take in people or characters from pop culture across the world, and connect them with advertising carousels. I am also a published poet, so and I write in Bengali, and so I've been published and I have been published in Bengal, and my translations of my poetry have also been published in reading series, and yeah, that's about it. And I like and I love music. So that's what I do.
That's great. So, Uttaran, my next question to you. Many of our listeners romanticize the life of creative personal, but what are the real challenges you have faced working in creative writing in the UK? So, could you please share about the personal challenges you already facing in this field?
Yeah, well, like when I began my advertising career in India, see, when I was a child in India, life was easy if you were studying science because the Indian society had a structured path for people who were studying science. Like you study science and then you get into an engineering college, or you become a doctor, or you work hard and you become an engineer or a doctor, and then you contribute to the society. But as an art student, it used to be very complicated, and so people said that it's very difficult to do anything in life or start a, or there were no fixed career paths. But slowly. So for a person who's pursuing creativity, I would like to say that be prepared to do a lot of hard work because life will not be easy. Initially, it takes a lot of hard work to find your own voice. So there are two journeys. One is the internal journey inside oneself to find one's true voice, because we tend to get influenced by our, say, a favorite artist or a favorite writer, and we tend to write like them initially. To find one's own true voice, which is unique to oneself, takes a little time. So that's an internal journey. The external journey is to connect with people and to see that whatever you're writing or whatever you're creating is reaching people. So that is another journey altogether. And so I would like to say that, of course, creativity has its upsides. That sometimes you feel wonderful because you get amazing creative satisfaction if you write something or if you build something. It's undescribable. It's this beautiful feeling. But also there's reality, and there's hard work. So it's a balance of both. So the advice that be prepared.
Yeah, that is a great advice. And being indulge in this field of creative writing and the field of book, it has always been a struggle to join this field, except then the great academics, because that is what the Indian parents and what the Indian culture is all about, that study being if you want to achieve the good academics. But this is a field which anyone can choose personally. So let's come to the questions about book, passion and free time.
Sure.
And it is personally made by me. So Uttaran, as someone who writes so evocatively, what kind of books do you love to read?
Well, I would personally name a couple of authors whom I really love. I love Hemingway. I love this author called Neil Gaiman. I love the poetry of Charles Bukowski. And of course, as a Bengali person, I've grown up with the literature of Satyajit Ray, Sukumar Ray, and Upendra Raj. And of course Rabindranath plays a very important role as well. So I would say that, and there's Marquez, there's all the carousals I create are about people who've touched me. So you see there's like a lot of books and authors there that have shaped my life in some way or the other. So
Yeah, actually, being a Bengali is I live in a life with full of cultural exploration, and you work with words all the day. But what does you love to do when you are not working?
I should say that I spend time with my child, and I do household work. I try. I watch a lot of TV.
Okay. That is good. That is great. And any more thing, being creative, like free time you just love to do?
Well, I love creating collages. That's another fun thing that I like. I like creating collages, and I like listening to music quite a bit.
Okay, so let's do a quick rapid fire. I will say a word and you reply with what first comes to your mind. Okay,
Sure.
so brand.
Impact.
Okay, failure.
Learning.
And BB King.
Soul.
Brief.
Opportunity.
Success.
First thing that comes to my mind when I hear success strangely is the star. But it's just even star.
Okay, eco.
Well, big white room.
Oh. So, by the ending, all the closing reflection. If there's one message you want every listener today to carry forward one echo from this conversation, what would it be?
Well, I would request all the listeners of Kahaani, everyone who's listening, to have an open mind. It's very important. Your mind should be an open receptacle. Let everything walk in. I mean, I try to, be influenced by nature, be influenced by music, be influenced by crime dramas, be influenced by the latest trends, be influenced by history. So open your heart to influence and see what really resonates and use them to create. So that is very important. It's very important to know.
Yeah, actually. And from this ending, thank you, Uttaran, for being so generous with your story, your wisdom, and your words. To everyone listening, remember, your camping like songs should leave echoes, not just the applause. So following Kahaani series for more creative journey, and until next time, keep telling stories that moves you. And thanks for joining this session, and thanks everyone to listening this session. And from this, Shweta signing off, and